What's up, guys, and welcome back to I Review Your Teams, or I Rate Your Teams, however you want to see this series. This is where me, the pro player, basically review your guys' teams and give you advice on how to improve it, but then also how I would improve it at a later stage as well. A little bit about this series. I think this is episode 6 of it now, so we've done 5 episodes of this last week. Just a little bit of information regarding that. We're not going to be uploading, obviously, 5 of these every week. We're going to be trying to do one a week. This will probably usually come out on Saturdays, but we're doing Sunday this week, but just because of how the videos sort of work this week. So keep out an eye on that. If you guys want me to review your teams, either reply to my tweet when I tweet out about wanting to see your teams. I'll probably, like, every week I'll probably tweet out whatever week it is for FUT Champs. Show me you guys' teams and I will review them. And that's what we did this week. A lot of you guys replied to that. Or use the hashtag VennyReviews if you want to send it during the week. Or either reply to my Instagram story when I also post out on Instagram. But as I mentioned, this is episode 6 of I Rate Your Teams. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Leave a like, leave a comment if you guys are enjoying this series. But let's get into the episode. Right, on to team 1 here. We have Aussie Games YT over on Twitter. He used the hashtag VennyReviews, so that is why he's going to be the first person up on this. I always say, I'm most likely, if you use VennyReviews, you're more likely to get in because there's less people trying to get in that way. Twitter, replies will be a little bit harder, and Instagram seems to be alright at the moment. Actually, you can probably get in there if you follow me and message me on Instagram. But VennyReviews, most of the time, will definitely get you into this series. And this is his team. We've got Neto in goal, Navas at right back, Fernandez as the right centre back, Eden Mittal the left centre back Marcelo, Carrasco, Porto, Nainggolan, Witsel, Costa and Mertens. I like the idea what he's gone around this with the Belgium sort of combination, and then gone into the Bundesliga into Costa and stuff like that. I think he's got quite a good concept of how he wants to build this team. But I think there's a lot of players we can upgrade and make this team a lot better, of course. I think he did send me this earlier on in the week, so obviously he might have made a few changes to this team by the time we've actually made this video. But for me, the first thing I'm looking at is obviously we've got this link here with Costa. Look to bring in Alphonso Davies from that's Alaba. I got confused with the flags for a second. I think Davies is top 2 left backs in this game. Him and Ferland Mendy are literally unbelievable this year. Definitely recommend picking up either one of them into your team if you can. In my Road to Glory team or my 250k team, what some of you guys would have seen, Alphonso Davies into Costa's the main sort of thing what I have been doing, and it works unbelievable. So look to maybe bring them guys into your team. Eden Mittal and Nacho Fernandez is fine. What you could look to do is obviously upgrade Fernandez into Carlos. That's another thing what I've done in my 250k team. Basically, this backline's nearly at a point what I'm doing on my Road to Glory. I'll keep the Navas and Porto. I think they're decent options for you. But now I think this obviously what we need to worry about is the upgrades on these two, Davis and Carlos. That will make your defense a lot stronger. You can obviously go with any keeper you would like as well from the La Liga. So maybe if you get a bit more budget, you could go to Stegen. But keep Carrasco there, Nainggolan, Mertens, and Witsel. So we're looking at a 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1. My problem when I look at this is that Witsel maybe not that good this year. Previous years he's great. Obviously his SPC is really good, I think, actually. I don't know what it's valued for money, but his actual card stats and that would be really good at the start of the game. But I would look to maybe get rid of Witsel in some sort of way. What you could do is put Mertens as the other cam, and then these guys won't need another link. So all you would need to do is get another Serie A midfielder of your choice to play as your other midfielder. So let's quickly head over to Footbin and see what midfield options obviously we do have in the Serie A, because I can't think at the top of my head. I know we've got an upgraded Nainggolan as well. I think the upgrade is definitely worth looking into for your team. 85 pace, 83 shot, 82 pass, 85 dribble, 72 defending, 83 risk goal. I don't know how much it is. It probably will say right here 384k. So let's take him out, because long term, yeah, you could do that upgrade, but let's think short term. Right now, you're probably not going to have 340k to upgrade, especially if we're doing the Davis and Carlos and there's other places we want to upgrade in your team. So what I'll be looking for is obviously another player who can play in that midfield sort of DM role. We've got Milinkovic-Savic. I know he's got an inform, but for some reason it's not showing up. So let's have it's because it's centre forward. His inform's actually really good. 70 pace, 82 shooting, 81 pass, 84 dribble, 8 defenders, 86 physical. That's a serious card. Put like a pace boost on him and he could do wonders in that other midfield role with 9 goal. Apart from that, is there anything really else looking decent? You got Vidal, but I don't think Vidal's probably like too much of a choice right now without some upgrade. I think your best option would be Milinkovic-Savic coming in. Get a bit more pace, and obviously, as I said, if you put like a pace boost on him, you don't have to worry about anything. And then from this point, I would look to maybe upgrade your right side of the pitch. You see how we got this strong link. We don't need any more links. Maybe look to get something similar on the right. But this team for now, I think will be more than good enough for the upgrades. So yeah, let me know what you do with your team. And that is team 1 complete. Onto team 2 here. We've got Brain Goat's team over on Twitter. If you don't know, he plays competitive Call of Duty, one of the best within the UK scene. This is his team on FIFA. So we'll go over. We've got Alisson in goal, Walker, Gomez, Militao, Mendy, inform Rashford, who I believe he got as a red pick, Sissoko, Valverde, Dembele, Ben Yedder, and Saint-Maxime. Looking like a very good team. I'm not really too sure what formation that he's playing this year. But I think he liked 4-2-3-1 last year or 4-4-2 last year. So it'll probably be one of them two. From what I'm seeing, though, there isn't really too much we can actually upgrade like straight away, apart from, well, the upgrades are going to be expensive really when it comes to, I think we're looking at like 200 to 300k like upgrades here and there. I think Eden Mittal can obviously get replaced for Varane. I think Varane low-key is better than Van Dijk this year. He's unbelievable. So if you're trying to think, who should I go for, Varane or Van Dijk? Just get Varane. Honestly, this guy is unbelievable this year. I think a lot of other pros might have the same opinion regarding him because I don't think Van Dijk's actually that great this year. We've got Valverde and Sissoko, I would assume, playing as the midfield. That's fine. Dembele's fine. Ben Yedder and Saint-Maxime. It really is like, how can we just get this final guy on full chemistry? Really, there isn't any other way of trying to think about this. But from the top of my head, there isn't actually any way where you could get this full chem. Or is there? If we go 4-3-2-1, centre mid. Oh mate, I always say this, and I mean it. Sometimes I impress myself with how good I am at building squads. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. We just got everyone on full chemistry. We don't have to change anything too much. We'll obviously get the Varane upgrade into the team. You could probably then get like Saint-Maxime if you like it. I know you're a Newcastle fan, so you probably want to get his inform. He's pretty good this year. He's actually gone up like loads from when he originally released, so maybe not. Ben Yedder looks good again this year. I haven't really used him too much, but I'd look at his pace and I think he can obviously get replaced in that sort of aspect. So maybe there's something what you could do with that. Maybe from this point we literally just save up for Mbappe, and then we're talking like a serious football team here. But obviously, as I mentioned, the main thing was to try and get everyone on chemistry what we can. Obviously, so Maxime, if he's playing on the right, he's going to be on weaker chem. But yeah. I think that's really what we could only do. As I said, I think the upgrades really from this point are like 300, 400k pools. You could go to Kante in for Sissoko, obviously Mbappe into there, or Martial, whoever you want. Obviously, if you go a different aspect with taking out Saint-Maxime for another Prem guy, then obviously you could change up the team completely. So, very decent team here. But that would be team 2 complete. Let me know what you do with your upgrades as well, Brian. So yeah, let's get into team 3. On to team 3 here, we have Panda Lit's team over from Twitter. Edison in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Tomori, Eden Mittal, Lodi, Son, Van der Beek, Alan, Bale, Rodrigo and Jota. Decent little team here. A lot of upgrades, in my opinion, can be made to this team. So that's obviously what we are going to be looking at. I don't really know if this Bale is tradable. If it is, why are we using him? If I'll be honest with you, I think we need to maybe sell him up and get them coins available to us. Unless you're saving him for an investment and you're wanting to obviously try and maximise the coins as much as possible. Maybe wait till after to see how he plays on Monday if he does play. I think it's Monday they play. And then decide from there. But I think if you can obviously sell him, we're obviously talking a bit more coins in the bank, which is tradable with. You low-key might have got him from your like guarantee one to watch pack, so there is that to obviously consider. But for now, what I'll do, I'll build this team assuming that that is untradeable, because that's the only sort of information we do have here. So yeah, what I'm looking, Jota's a decent little player. Obviously, he's got 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, but I'm not a fan of Rodrigo. He's okay, but he's nothing crazy. And it's the same thing with Van de Beek. I think he's okay, but nothing crazy. So I think them two would be my main changes when I'm looking at this team, and maybe something defensively over here as well. I would look to possibly change, like maybe go from Eden Mattel into Carlos, just so you have a little bit more better defensively, and then actually maybe even looking to get Gomez for Tomori if possible. And then we look to maybe upgrade the left back and and so on and the thing. But I think this would be more than good enough for the back line. If you do make them changes, we'd look to get rid of Van de Beek. I would probably, if you want to keep it at a lower budget, I would go Sissoko. If you want to go a little bit more higher, we're looking into the Kantés and Pogbas, Kevin De Bruyne's for example as well. But I think Sissoko is so much more of a all-round better player than Van de Beek in this game. So I would look to bring Sissoko into your team. Him and Allen would be great. If you play like if you play 4-2-3-1, this is probably really good because they're both really good defensively, and you wouldn't hopefully you wouldn't be conceding too much really with them two in that defensive midfield role. If you're using them as centre mid, so obviously it might be a slight issue, but I don't think it's too bad. We've got to work with a slight budget here. And then obviously the Rodrigo change, and that's the hardest thing because we've already using Son on weak chem. I don't really want another weak chem player in the attack. So that is something I've got to look at when trying to think of who we're going to probably put into this team. Obviously there's a few different options at different prices. We've got the new Harry Kane, for example, but he's obviously ridiculously priced. We've got Aubameyang, you've got Vardy, you've got Werner, you've got the new striker Rashford. Low-key, if you had that type of coinage, then look to get him. But got Anthony Martial, but is Anthony Martial too much different to Rodrigo? Ish, yeah, I guess. Obviously the shoot's better, and he's got like a different body frame, but he comes with the 4-star skills and 3-star weak, and that's the reason why I was looking to get rid of Rodrigo, is because of that. You can obviously go with Richarlison for the 5-star, but I think you might need a bit more pace into that team if you've got Jota in there. I'm not really too sure where you're playing Jota and Son, but maybe you could use like Son as the striker and Jota as the cam, Bale as the lamb or left mid. Because I don't think Jota really has the pace as a winger as such, but maybe he does. Maybe he feels faster in games like that. João Felix, for example, who I'm using, he's a lot faster than what I actually think. Just a heads up as well, if you guys don't see your team in this, obviously I do apologise. There's only so many teams I can put in each video. I'm going to try my best to, though, like every week will be different teams, if that makes sense. So if I review your team this week and you submit it next week as well, I probably won't do it because I've already reviewed your team like a week ago, just so I can keep the new the teams fresh and constantly changing in here. And that obviously gives opportunity to everyone who's involved with the series. Maybe we can look at Aubameyang to go into your team. Werner's 200k. You got Aubameyang and Werner really at a similar price here. Yeah, so I would look to, obviously there's an expensive change here, but I think maybe you look to get Aubameyang into this team of some sort of way. Or if you don't mind using another weak chem player, you could look to possibly go like Jota on weak chem or Rashford on weak chem, and then so you can get Rashford in, because I think Rashford's one of the better players this year. But as I mentioned, that's obviously giving you a lot of weak chem. So low-key, Jota can easily get replaced and use him as a super sub. So maybe that's something what we could look to do. Get Rashford in, so we have Rashford into the team, and then we look to get maybe, like as I mentioned, Richarlison or something like that to play into that role. I'm just going to quickly look at if there's any cams or something I'm just completely forgetting about. I know somebody played against me the other day with what was his face? Bruno Fernandes came and that was a nightmare to play. I don't know why my defending was just all over the place. But we do have Kai Havertz. Low-key could be an option for you as that central cam. I've mentioned him a couple of times in this series. I think he's actually really good this year. So low-key, what you could do is like Havertz, Cam, Son, striker, Rashford and Bale on the wings. If you play 4-4-2, obviously we look to maybe use Richarlison or somebody, or you go back with Rodrigo instead of Havertz, because obviously you need a bit more pace in a 4-4-2 because Havertz ain't got that. But if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, I would look to get Havertz in. So obviously the changes we have made to this team are Gomez, Carlos, Havertz, Sissoko and Rashford. This would make your team a lot better. And I just think there was a few things what was easy to change. I think Jota could be used as a super sub as well. He low-key might get an inform as well. Well, no, he probably won't, but it depends if they rig it or not. But yeah, that is this team done from Panda. Let's get into the next team. On the team 4 here, we have XY19961 over on Twitter. And I'll be real, this team, I don't know. Like, you showed me how it's played in game. You played a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. And you had Rodriguez, Cam, Firmino and Jota as the strikers. And I'm just thinking, how are you scoring goals? Like, you have no pace in your team, bro. Like, we've got no pace at the back, really. We've got no pace in the midfield. We've got no pace in the attack. Like, this team needs pace. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And you'll probably see a better performance. Unless you play, like, to defeat every time. But then that's just not going to be, like, you're not going to get through, are you? You're not going to get them one-on-one situations. But I think we needed like a low-key all-round revamp to this team, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to change it up too much, but I'm gonna have to. On the left side of the centre backs, obviously we're getting rid of Thiago Silva. Get that guy out. Just because he's got a nice-looking card doesn't mean he's worth using. And maybe we look into. Do I go Matteo Mendy? I feel like that's quite expensive. Maybe like that's 100k right there. Or do I go the Bayern Munich way, Alphonso Davies, Alaba and Goretzka? So you obviously got that option, the Real Madrid triangle, or we've got we're a little bit cheaper of an option with Goretzka, Davies. And you know what, I might put Theo Hernandez or do we put Alaba? I think that you could, obviously there's loads of Bayern Munich centre backs you could go. If you want to go cheaper, you go Theo Hernandez there. I think it's Theo. Or was it Lucas? One of the two. But then obviously Davis and Goretzka there. Then you got that triangle that I have to worry about. I think you had Areola in goal. Put Nick Pope there already because they didn't have the updated Areola. Gomez, Cancelo. We can low-key keep like Rodriguez in there because I think a lot of people are big fans of Rodriguez, but I wouldn't use him as the central cam. I'd use him as your left centre mid in game in the narrow. Fabinho is the middle centre mid and Goretzka is the right centre mid. We can keep Jota because I think he's actually quite a decent little card in early stages of the game in like a narrow. Maybe I would look to play him as the central cam, but then I would look to possibly get rid of Firmino and Silva, and I would look to bring in probably like, I'm trying to think who's not too expensive but has pace. Like Loki, this is a guy who I said to take out of the previous team, but I think because I don't really know how much coins we're really working with, maybe we look to just bring in some more pace with Rodrigo and Lucas Moura, or you could low-key go Gareth Bale here as well, but that's two left footers in the attack. But maybe you look just to get that, just a bit more pace in the attack. It's just seriously lacking it. I'll put Jota in the cam, Rodrigo and Moura as the strikers. And I feel like you're getting so many better positions with that. And then obviously you can keep your Rodriguez, Fabinho and Goretzka. Well, you can keep your Rodriguez and Jota in your team, so you're keeping your special cards apart from Thiago Silva. I don't know why you're using that guy. 55 pace on the bloke, it's just game over. You're literally asking to concede goals. So yeah, this is what I would do to your team, mate. I wouldn't change, like I said, I wouldn't change too much, but I have changed basically the whole thing apart from 1, 2, 3, 4 players. But I think this would just make your team a lot more consistent performing in game. I think it's lacking a serious serious amount of pace, and obviously this will rectify that problem. Obviously you could also look to, if you have a bit more concept, because as I said, I don't really know how much you are really working with, but look to maybe even get Rashford on weekend or Son on weekend in this right forward role, and then have him up top with Rodrigo, and that would be more than good enough for your team. Hopefully you go with some of these changes. I definitely think it would help your team perform a lot better in game. That would be it for, I think, team 4 this is. So yeah, not a bad little team what we've made here either. Onto some Instagram teams here. We have Eddie770, I believe was tag was. If you guys don't follow me over on Instagram, head over to in the description. It's Venny.FIFA. Go and drop me a follow. I think we're closing up onto 600 followers, and I think coming next month I'll be dropping a lot more content over there. So if you guys want to go and see some FIFA content or just see what I'm getting on in my life, head over to the Instagram page and drop me a follow. But let's have a little look at this team. We've got Edison in goal. I believe this is the Foot Champs one, so obviously that's what the inform's there. Ricardo Pereira, Silva, Fernandinho, Regulion, Saint-Maxime, Ali, Partey, Mahrez, Watkins and Richarlison. He said he had like 120k to spend to upgrade this team, and I think his midfield and attack's fine. I think when I look at this team, the biggest problem is this defense. So obviously we need to look in a way where we can possibly fix this up in some sort of way. So obviously that's going to be slightly hard, because I think the Premier League players, they are okay, but I think you can always upgrade them. But you know what, we'll just keep it basic and keep it things simple. I'll look to probably drop all of them. Actually, you know what, I think Regulion might be the best left back in the Prem, so we'll keep him in. We'll bring in Joe Gomez as one of the defenders. We'll look to bring in Semedo as the right back. He's a little bit expensive, so if you could wait out on him, I would recommend doing that. Whilst he actually, I think his price will probably be coming back down now because he's not into the one to watches. And then obviously we got this final centre back spot, and this is why I was like looking at the team and how I could probably change it up. Maybe if we go to like a 4-3-2-1 and actually play something like such. We can use Richarlison as how the last guy actually used Alan, and that can give us the links to Carlos and Lodi for the team. And I think this would make obviously your defense a lot more stronger, a lot more faster, a lot more overpowered as such. But obviously we're keeping everything else the same, and I think you should be able to afford this. I think Gomez might be slightly expensive, but I think if you wait out on the right time and the right prices, obviously you've got to sell some of your players as well. You should be able to afford something similar to this. So yeah, this is what I would do to your team. Obviously it's a quick change because there wasn't really too much to change when the midfield and the attack, but it was more so on the defensive side, and this is what I would do, and this would make your team mint really. We're a quality team now. So yeah, that is this team complete. On to team 6, I think now. We have Jason's team over from Instagram. Asenjo in goal. Kappa, Fernandez, I think is Yuri is his first name. I'm going to have a clue how to say that last name. Tagliafico, Laurent, Depay, Quincy Promes, Neres, Sanchez and Martins. I like the concept, the idea of the team where he's got the Promes into Depay, going into the Sanchez and Martins. I really like that. And obviously he's got the La Liga overpower players with Laurent. But I think a key issue is obviously his weekend centre-back. I don't think Kappa's that great and Tagliafico isn't that great. So what I would be looking to do is obviously changing this team up slightly wherever we can. I don't know why I changed formation. We don't really need to change formation. So what I would do, I'll get rid of him, Yuri, Depay, Neres, like this so far. CDM. Then we get this new, obviously, rule breaker card in. I would say get Dumfries into there, which should... so that's why I went 4-3-3. What if I do 4-3-3-4? Nothing. Okay. So I'm going to try and work out how I'm going to get this to work chemistry-wise. Because I thought that would fix it, but it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. But low-key, you could easily play Quincy Promes on weekend. I don't think it's actually that bad. As long as there's only like one of our players on weekend. Wait, Depay's on weekend as well. Is Depay already on weekend when he showed me his team? I think it is, right? Okay. Is there any Leon players who are good? Let's have a quick little look onto this. I don't think there is, but we'll have a quick little look. OL, did it come up? Obviously, take away the cam and the Premier League stuff. So there's a little bit of a team what's maybe have a little think here. So no, if you got Jason Denyo, it's not a bad little centre back, but it's going to be hard to link out elsewhere. So Sanchez, Martins, Depay, Quincy, Prime. So what if we go to like a 4-5-1? Right. In there. No, because Depay's still on weekend. So we are having an absolute mare with this team, I'll be real. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to the basic. I like this. It's quite hard to link, isn't it? I think Quincy Promes is the guy who's hard to link a lot of the time. So this would... I think Depay gets decent chemistry like this. So low-key, we might just keep it like this and then try and get strong links here. We go Ed Mittal. We go Ed Mittal, Nacho Fernandez, Asensio. I think that's how I would do it. And then that's fine. Just Depay's on 8 chem. We've obviously loyalty and manager. I think that's what you was playing with him anyway. Obviously, we've got a better right back now with Dumfries. Then we need we could have any La Liga left back really. Obviously, the ideal one is Mendy, but I think we need a little bit more coins for that. Obviously, then we need a Atletico Madrid left winger or a Spanish left winger. So that is a slight issue. Well, it's not an issue. There's Carrasco and Ansu Fati as obviously the main two. Ansu Fati's player them up. By the way, this guy gave me serious problems. But I'm looking at like if we can get Ousmane Dembele in some sort of way and go like Frankie De Jong instead of and Frankie De Jong. Oh my God, we might have hit the jackpot because of Frankie De Jong. Okay. And then I was going to go Dembele. And then, who's left back? I just put Lodi in, for example. But as I say, Mendy's the best option you can get. I've just come up with an absolutely fantastic idea. But now it's like, how do I get it on chemistry with everyone else? So, 4-3-3-3 doesn't work because Promes would be on weekend. So it's like really a choice, isn't it? Who do you want on weekend, Depay or Promes? Let me know in the comments, right? How do we get this on full chemistry? Because I'm pretty sure there's a way to get this on full chemistry. I'm just going blanket, as you can tell with this team. I think this team is very good, though. Obviously, De Jong's in, Depay's in, Promes is in, Dembele, Sanchez, Martins. You're keeping the skill moves up top. We made that defense a lot better. Yeah, I think this is a solid team. Obviously, there's a few changes else we could do. Obviously, like bringing in Carlos into the centre-back role instead of Fernandez, and then playing Neto in goal could really be a good option for you. For example, Carlos here, and then Neto in goal. Low-key, you could do like this is what I'm saying. If you get more coins, we're laughing really because we put Courtois in goal and that's fine, and then we get Mendy. You know that if I'm not that Mendy, but the other Mendy, that would make your team ridiculously good. Obviously, I just don't know how this goes on full chemistry. I think maybe we have to have either Depay or Promes on weekend, but I might be wrong there. I feel like there's a way, but I'm just not figuring it out in my head right now. I wonder if like 4-3-2-1? No, because Dembele is still there. So yeah, I'm not really too sure, but as the player playing out wide, have him on 8 chem. If Depay's playing through the middle, have him on 9 or 10. But I would assume Promes is probably playing through the wide. You could play like Depay, Gelson, Martins on wide, Depay through the middle with Dembele. I think that would make your team very nice. But yeah, that is the upgrades I would do. We eventually got there. It was a bit of a tough one to actually get onto how I wanted to see this team, but very solid team at the end of it.